You know, if the coach could call me when they change a pitcher, that would be great. Let's talk some more baseball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven. And for the first time in a while, I have to get on here and say it was a reverse sweep yesterday. That's right. We haven't had one of those days in quite a while. Luckily, I stuck to only half unit plays, but it was frustrating, guys. One team decided to change pitchers about 2-3 hours before game time, and they changed to an awful starting pitcher, and then we lost on the hook in another one. We'll go over the bets recap in a while. We take the loss and we move on to the next day. I like this slate today, so let's bounce back. But we have some good news, I guess. We'll just say we hit a futures bet. Unfortunately for me, because I'm kind of sad about it because my Mariners lost. But if you watch that midseason video, Astros to win the AL West at plus 125 was a winner. Really never a doubt. As a Mariners fan, that was just a guarantee that that was going to happen. And then we had Sale to win Cy Young at plus 140. He's much better odds now. He is the odds-on favorite to win it. So it hasn't hit yet, but that's another one that we're waiting on. So at least we had some good news. But anyways, it's time to bounce back. But of course, we had the Dinger Tuesday contest, the last one of the regular season. And congrats to at the Parlay guys. That's right. They hit Jonah Bride at plus 800. I think we had like 3 or so guys hit, but this one was the highest odds, obviously, at plus 800. So congrats. Reach out to us on Discord, Twitter, or down below in the comments as well. Before we get anything, obviously, got to talk about our partner that we haven't talked about in a while, but me and Ryan are continuing to have fun and actually win some money too. But it's KALSHI. That's right. If you don't know, they are federally regulated in all 50 states. It's like stocks, but it's all world events that interest you. So if you already know us, you know we've been doing weather and different things like that. In fact, I just put in a trade for this one right here. As you can see a screenshot, the highest temperature in Chicago tomorrow. Because why not? Let's just throw a little bit at it. I went 75 to 76 degrees after some in-depth research. 41 cents per contract means it's kind of an underdog, but that's the bet we're going with. We've done well with some weather bets, but you can do movies, politics, economics. You can do anything you want. It's just a lot of fun, buy and sell and all that kind of stuff. So go check it out. If you sign up now, you get a $20 bonus credit. That link is in the description below. But let's get into it. It's a full 15-game slate, and I got a fun fact. It's a quick one. Only 6 players in Major League Baseball history have multiple seasons of 53 or more home runs. Babe Ruth, Ken Griffey Jr., favorite player of all time, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, A-Rod, and Aaron Judge. That is some damn good company. The next question, how many of those guys were on roids and how many weren't? But anyways, that's a fun fact. In this video, we're going to recap yesterday. I don't want to, but you know what? Sometimes you're just going to have a bad day when you bet baseball. The good and bad hitter matchups, the pitcher strikeout matchups, the entire 15-game pitcher report, and then we'll give you our best bets, and I got 3 of them for you today, and then our 3 favorite hitter parlay ideas, and wrap it all up with that recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below. Appreciate every single comment and every single like from you guys. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as we're on our way, if I don't lose my voice, to 29,000 subscribers. And then, of course, Wednesday night, we got our Thursday night football video coming out as well. So that's all we got for you. Let's get it started. And that means it's recap time. All right, there it is, an 0-3 day, the first time in a while, but we got to take it, and this is why bankroll management's key. I'm glad I only went a half unit on each one, but this first one hurt, guys. We were in the bottom of the 5th. It was 4-0. That's right, one team did not score a run, and I still lost this. It was brutal. I should have taken the under 8 in the full game because that actually cashed. But Marcell Ozuna, the guy who's helped us cash a lot of bets this year, hit a solo bomb off of a bullpen. Stanek off the bullpen guy, and that was the loss right there on the hook. 5-0 after 5 innings. It was absolutely brutal. But Fernando Tatis just sucked. It's baseball. Anybody can go 0 for 4, and it just happened to be him. So there's nothing else to say about it. Hitting a baseball's hard, and he couldn't do it today. But the Reds' first 5 money line, this is the one that irritated me because they had Junis on the mound until about 2 to 3 hours before, and they changed it to Carson Spires, however you say it, and he's horrendous. And I'm not saying it would have won or anything like that, but I love the value at plus 130 for this one. Spears gave up 3 runs in the first, which just kind of kills your team. I mean, you're already down 3-0 right there. But the Reds did have 1 run. They had some guys on. They had chances. They couldn't get up in there. So they were down 3-1 after 5 innings. It is what it is. That's baseball betting for you. But that just means it's time to bounce back, and we are due tomorrow. So there it is, up 3.44 units on the season after a rough start to the season. We have definitely turned it around, luckily. But I don't want to limp into the playoffs. I want to finish strong. So let's get into that. But before we do the bets, let's talk some hitter matchups. We got 15 good hitter matchups for you today. I'm not going to go through all of them, but we got some good hitters up here. Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor against Chris Sale. I think Lindor is going to be back in the lineup. Obviously, if you're going to bet him, take a peek at that. I never recommend necessarily betting somebody against the Cy Young Award winner, but he has had good success. Brian Reynolds, who's been a little hit and miss second half of the year, but 12 for 28 against Freddie Peralta. So on and so on. Jaron Duran there, Yainer Diaz. Adley Rutschman having kind of a down year, but how about 10 for 18 off Nestor Cortez? We've talked about that earlier this season as well. Charlie Blackmon over there on the right side, 6 for 11, but I just heard he is retiring after the season. I think he played like 19 seasons all with the Rockies, which is pretty cool. Good player, that's for sure. Great career. And then Yoshida, Profar, Contreras down there at 4 for 7. So those are all the good hitter matchups. Take a screenshot. Hopefully you can get some winners out of this one. And now let's check out the bad hitter matchups, and we got a lot. Really, Aaron Judge, 3 for 17 with 10 Ks against Zach Eflin. That's insane. Ozuna, 3 for 17, 6 Ks versus David Peterson, which is surprising, obviously, because he is a lefty. Altuve up there, 2 for 13, but he may be injured. Gunnar Henderson, 6 Ks, so on and so on. Stanton with 4 Ks, 1 for 10 as well. So those are all the hitter matchups I have for you today. And now let's talk some arms. We got 2 of these good pitcher strikeout matchups. The first one is fastball Freddie Peralta going up against the Pirates. Pittsburgh, 9th highest K percentage versus righties last 3 weeks at almost 26%. Peralta, 193 Ks and 168.1 innings. Very similar home road K rate splits. We've talked about him a lot this year. But he had 5 Ks in his only start versus the Pirates this season. And he's been all over the place lately. If you already know this, if you've been betting his K props. But 9, 5, 4, 3, and 8 Ks in his last 5 starts. Second one, DJ Hertz of the Washington Nationals going up against the Royals. Royals 5th highest K percentage versus lefties last 3 weeks, 30.6%. You don't see the Royals up here much on K prop or anything like this. They're usually a very low K team, but that has not been the case against lefties. 103 Ks and 83.2 innings for Hurst. And then we have his higher K rate at home, which is also helpful here, 29.6% compared to 26.8 on the road. And then he has exactly 5 Ks in 4 straight starts. So he's not dominating in the K department, but he's also not just horrendous either. So 5+ Ks now in 9 of his last 10 starts. And just so you know, with the Royals, 5 straight lefties have 7 or more Ks against them. They've been some good pitchers like Skubal, Blake Snell, and there's been some not as elite. But right now the Royals are just struggling. We'll talk about their offense a little bit later. So those are the 2 good pitcher strikeout matchups. And now let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, the first one is the Seattle Mariner, George Kirby. My goodness, can we win? Can we please just make the playoffs? But we're going up against Yusei Kikuchi. He's been a lot better since he became a Houston Astro, as a lot of players are, unfortunately. Both guys can swing and get some swing and misses, obviously. Sanchez having a great year for Philly, going up against Javier Assad. We know the advantage there is with Sanchez. Junis, who was supposed to pitch yesterday, like I bet on, and he had personal reasons. So they moved him back only 1 day. So he is supposed to be on the mound here, going up against Cantillo. And then we already talked Peralta a little bit. Lorenzen coming off the IL, going up against Hurst, which we just talked about, so on and so on. Nestor Cortez, has been a little up and down, but a little better lately, finally. And then Litel Montero, we're going to talk about that game later. And then this guy down here just gives hitters a lot of fits. He really does. Guys, I have no idea, and I don't know anything about him. I'm going to be honest. Going up against Kevin Gausman, who has a very inconsistent season, that's for sure. But those are the first 8 matchups with all the averages on the bottom. Take a screenshot, and now let's check out page 2. All right, we start out with that huge series in Atlanta with the Mets taking on the Braves as the Braves take game 1. But David Peterson, the lefty, going up against the lefty, Chris Sale, the best pitcher probably on planet Earth right now. Him and Tariq Skubal, 2.38 ERA. We know he's as good as it gets. I mean, a 32% K rate with a 5.6 walk rate is just insane. And then as we keep going down, Cabrera, Richardson, and then Fetty Gomber. There's not really a lot of good matchups, to be honest with you here, until you get to the bottom. Dylan Cease versus Jack Flaherty in a great one there. As the Padres are putting a little heat on the Dodgers after winning game 1 and trying to steal this division. They are 2 games back now at the NL West. But Cease, 3.42 ERA, 3.11 expected. Similar numbers, similar K rate numbers. Cease walks a few more guys, but he's hard to get a hit off of, as you can tell by 6.4 hits per 9 innings. So anyways, that's all 15 matchups for the day. And now let's talk some best bets. All right, this first one takes us out to the land of tiny beverages where the Twinkies host the Miami Marlins. Twins on the money line minus 185, Marlins on the money line plus 166 with a total of 8 runs. Guys, I just feel like taking shots, as you can tell. I've been putting out more plus money bets, and this is the same on this one. I just love the value here. Give me the Marlins on the money line, plus 166 on FanDuel, a half unit play. I'm going to have 3 plays. The first 2 are going to be half units, and my final one will be my 1 unit play. But this first one, this line just, it doesn't really make sense. And when I say that, I don't mean that this is guaranteed to win. I just mean I don't know why the odds are plus 166. Since September 1st, Twins are 8-13. Marlins 8-13. Twins scored 74 runs. Marlins scored 87 runs. These teams are really just the same team lately. Let's be honest with you. We got Edward Cabrera versus Simeon Woods Richardson. So let's start out with Cabrera. He got rocked last start, but it was against the Dodgers. That means nothing. They don't. I mean, it means something, but they don't compare to the Twins, obviously. And it mostly due to 5 walks. He still only allowed 4 hits. In the 3 starts before that, he allowed 1 total earned run in 18.1 innings. So I don't think he's in bad form or anything. He just faced the Dodgers. He was absolutely dominating. And in those 18.1 innings, he only allowed 8 hits. He's now allowed 3 or less earned runs in 10 of his last 12 starts, giving his team a chance to win. As long as he doesn't completely lose control, I think he can slow down this Twins lineup because if you don't know already, they are in a free-for-all. Twins offense last 3 weeks versus righties. Dead last WRC+. The worst offense in the league. Dead last slugging with only 8 home runs hit. Second lowest walk rate, 5.6. So if Cabrera, does lose his command a little bit, we got a Twins team who likes to swing. They do not walk a lot, so that's going to be a good matchup for him. Third lowest batting average. It is just all bad for the Twins. Now let's talk about SWR. Pitch count has been cut back a little bit. He's been pitching around 70 pitches every time. Last 5 starts with that limited pitch count, he's given up 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, and 4 earned runs. He's never gone a full 5 innings. So just know he's not going deep in the games with those numbers. In fact, in 15.1 September innings so far, he has a 5.17 ERA. He's also a guy that can struggle with command. In fact, this month, a 12.5% walk rate. And he now faces a surprisingly decent and scrappy Marlins offense. Offense for the Marlins last 3 weeks versus righties, 8th best WRC+. That's right, they are 8th best, as we have the Twins at dead last. 5th best slugging for the Marlins. They've shown that they have some pop. 4th best batting average. 11th highest walk rate, which could come into play here against SWR. I just absolutely love this bet, and like I said, I don't mean that in a way where I don't get this, they're guaranteed to win or anything like that. I just mean plus 166 that I saw in a book is absolutely insane. We have even starting pitchers. In fact, I would give the slight lean to Cabrera in this matchup. The Marlins have been the much better offense the last month. I mean, it's not even close. They've been the much better. If you look at the bullpens, they both suck. Both bottom 5 bullpens with very even ERA, xFIP numbers, all that kind of stuff. If you just take the name out of it, Marlins and Twins, I'm just not sure how you could take or even look at the Twins at that price. I got to take a shot here. So give me the Marlins at plus 166 on the money line as my first best bet. All right, while recording, I changed my mind. This bet will be a 1-unit play. So I'm going to have 2 1-unit plays now. We're heading out to Detroit, Comerica Park, where the Tigers are hosting the Tampa Bay Rays. The Tigers, minus 115 on the money line. Rays, minus 105, total of 8 runs. The Tigers are the hottest team in the MLB. They are unbelievable right now, finding ways to win. And the fact that they're in the playoffs is crazy. They were a team that kind of sold at the deadline, trading Jack Flaherty away. That would be nice to have, obviously, right now. But enough of that. My best bet in this game, it's the under 8 runs at minus 120 on BetMGM. This is 1-unit play for me. I also like the 7.5, obviously. I don't think they're going to get to 8, but it is September baseball in Detroit. The weather is cooling off. Looks like it's going to be a high of like in the high 60s or something. So we're not talking 85, 90-degree weather anymore, which is the case, obviously, at most parks. In Detroit's last 13 home games, the total has been at 8 or under in 10 of those 13 games. I mean, the final score of that game has been at 8 or under in 10 of the 13. And 2 of those overs were because they faced the Rockies pitching staff and they scored 1,000,000 runs. So there has just not been a lot of runs in Detroit in September, and that's pretty common, to be honest. But we have Zach Littell versus Keider Montero. You guys already know Zach Littell. We took his under 2.5 earned runs. Was it last start or the start before? He absolutely dominated. This guy has been one of the best starting pitchers in the league so far this month. He has now pitched 21 straight scoreless innings. Well, he's only given up 6 total hits in 18 innings. 6 hits in 18 innings. That's insane. I just like Littell. I think he's in great form. And then you got Kiter Montero, really improved since he started this season, which I used to make fun of him a lot because he was terrible at the beginning, but he's been a lot better and he's been really good at home. His ERA is almost a run and a half lower at home. He's given up only 3 earned runs in the last 24 innings at home. 3 shutouts. That's right. In the last 4 starts, he has 3 shutouts at home. He showed some good command. Now let's talk offenses here. Tigers versus righties, they've been better lately. I'm not even going to beat around the bush. That's why they're winning more, but they have not been that great at home. This is what this is all about. It's going to be harder. It's a pitcher's park, cooler weather in Detroit. Last 30 days versus righties, 19th WRC plus at home, third best WRC plus on the road. So that's where they've been really doing their damage. But of course, they're at home here. Rays offense versus righties, the 5th lowest WRC plus versus righties on the road. And overall, just home or road, they're 20th overall. So they haven't been good either way. Obviously, they traded a ton of good hitters at the deadline. They haven't been able to really hit consistently since then. They're also a team that does not draw many walks. They have the 4th lowest walk rate. And then bullpens, believe it or not, these are 2 of the top 6 bullpens this month so far. Tigers bullpen ERA 2.37, Rays 2.81. I see yet another low-scoring game, like a 3-2, 3-1, 4-2, whatever type of game. So give me the under 8 for the 11th time in the last 14 games in Detroit as my second best bet. All right, this third one is a 1-unit play, and it's a team total parlay. Give me the Braves team total over 2.5. The Royals team total under 5.5 at -121 on DraftKings. Let's talk Braves team total over 2.5 first. This team is absolutely crushing lefties. Last 30 days on offense, third highest WRC plus, second highest slugging, third highest batting average. No matter how you look at it, they are absolutely crushing. And they also happen to have 4 of the 5 highest batting averages in the MLB in the last 7 days. Not versus lefties, just overall. Michael Harris hitting 517, or Ozuna 458, Olsen 450, Urshela 440. It's been insane. This team is on fire, and I watched every Michael Harris at bat today. He was absolutely dialed in. He was unbelievable, including a deep Oppo bomb. But anyways, facing David Peterson. He's been solid this year, but he has been getting a little lucky. I don't want to take anything away from him. He has been good. He's been getting out a lot of jams. But he has given up 4 earned runs in 2 of his last 3 starts now. His WHIP is 133. To me, that means he's given up a lot of base runners still. He's not absolutely dominating. This is one of the toughest matchups right now a lefty can have. I think the Braves can score 3+ runs pretty easily. Even if they don't get all 3 off Peterson, I think they can get another one off the Mets bullpen. So, second one, Royals team total under 5.5. Now, I might laugh while I talk about some of this. It's just these stats are amazing. It doesn't mean it's a guarantee. Nothing is. But the Royals have only gone over this line, 5.5. And by the way, this line is 3.5. I'm taking it up to 5.5 and taking the under. It's an alt line. They have scored 6 or more runs twice since August 27th. That means they have gone under this 5.5 line in 22 of the last 24 games. I'm not done yet. In fact, this team has scored a total of 5 runs combined in the last 6 games. They have less runs scored than games played in the last 6. This is a dreadful offense. They won finally to break their 7-game losing streak in 10 innings, 1-0 yesterday. It is just insane. I need 5 or less runs in 1 game. That's all I need. Their team total, like I said, is 3.5. This is they've been a little better versus lefties, but they're still a bottom 8 offense versus lefties, and they're facing DJ Hurst. He's been good other than the last start. He got crushed against a Mets team that crushes lefties. He gave up 7 earned runs before that. He had given up 2 or less earned runs in 9 of his last 10 starts. He was pitching really well. He's known to walk 2 or 3 batters sometimes, but the Royals have the 3rd lowest walk rate. So if he wants to walk 2, I'll live with it. I don't think the Royals can do enough damage anyways. But he's been very consistent, especially at home. 3.78 ERA compared to a 5.17 on the road. I like the matchup here. I like the Royals to go under 5.5. I like the Braves to score 3 or more runs. That is my third and final best bet of the day. Any added plays will be in the pinned comments, of course, on X and on Discord. But before we get out of here, let's talk some hitter parlay ideas. All right, these went 2-1 yesterday. Let's see if we can get all 3 of them to hit. And again, this is not me saying put all these together and make a parlay. I know some of you guys do. These are just hitters to give you ideas. Maybe you bet bases. Maybe you include one of them in a hitter parlay, whatever you want to do. Just some more options because I'm here to help. So the first one, Jarren Duran of the Red Sox. Nice matchup versus Gausman here. 6 for 16 in his career with 5 extra base hits. Possibly a good over 1.5 bases prop for him. Then 1+ hit in 17 of the last 22 games. Hits righties better, 299 off righties. Good matchup, good form. I like Duran here. Second one, all Braves hitters. Don't you love when I do that? That doesn't tell you much probably, but we talked about this on bet number 3, guys. They have 4 of the top 5 highest averages. If you want to go, my favorite ones, probably Harris, Olsen. I would say Ozuna, but he hasn't done well against Peterson, but he does crush lefties, especially at home, like we've talked about. So kind of conflicting stats there, but Harris and Olsen are 2 guys that are on a roll. Harrison would probably be my favorite though. So third, and also by the way, I'm gonna say Ozzy Albies hits lefties very well, so he's another option. But Braves hitter is the second one. Nico Horner, he's hitting the ball well lately. In fact, I almost went a hitter parlay with him today, and I wish I did. But he's hit 381 in the last 7 days, 1+ hit in 10 of his last 11. He is facing the lefty Christopher Sanchez, who's been solid but still gives up hits, giving up 177 hits and 177 innings, so he is hittable. Nico Horner versus lefties, loves it. Hitting 320 compared to 255 off of righties. I like Horner to stay hot. I like some Braves hitters, especially at the top of their order, and then Jarren Duran as my hitter parlay ideas. So thanks for listening. Before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. There it is, my 3 best bets. Any added plays will be in the pinned comments on X and on Discord. Marlins moneyline half unit. Let's take a shot. Why not? Last week of the MLB season, let's get weird. Plus 166 on FanDuel. And then my 2 1-unit plays under 8 runs. The Rays and Tigers game at minus 120 on BetMGM. If you can only get minus 7 or 7.5, I like that too. Obviously, you just get a push at 8. But Braves team total over 2.5. Royals team total under 5.5 is an alt line team total parlay. Minus 121 on DraftKings for 1 unit. So that's all the bets I got. Appreciate you guys watching. And of course, we are getting closer now to week 4 in the NFL. Wednesday night, we will have that Thursday night football preview and best bets video out. And let's see if we can start week 4 on a hot streak. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you have a great Wednesday, and we'll talk to you soon.